fun, entertaining.
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy this because, Nate, we've had a lot of great moments on this show. Some of the best, though, involve a little bit of debate between the two of us. And I've spent most of my career in a press box watching and judging. You actually played the game, which leads to a segment we call two-point conversing. Put out 3 topics. I'll tee it up, Nate. You tell me if you agree or disagree. And we hash it out. We embrace the debate. Let's go. We've talked endlessly about Tom Brady's future and which team he might be playing for in 2020. But there could be a simple solution to all this. Nate, should Bill Belichick just pick up the phone right now ahead of free agency and say, hey, dude, like, enough. Like, let's figure this out? Or should Brady and Belichick just explore their other ways?
He should do it all. We're talking pick up the phone, conversate with them. We should go ahead and message, use emojis, email, whatever you want to send, courier pigeon, smoke signals. They should do everything that they need to do to keep him. I get it. You're probably going to have a long list of guys that they let walk away. But how about you looking at Tom Brady and appreciating him for what he has done, not just for the organization, not just for your jewelry box, Bill Belichick, but how about the landscape of football? You letting Tom Brady walk away will be the dumbest decision you have ever made as a team. And I'm not blaming this all on Bill Belichick, but if you have power, you pick up that phone and you wield that power so Tom Brady can sit back and say, you know what, I get it. You've let vets walk away, but I'm different. Because he is.
I do think there is something to that Brady's looking to feel the love. He wants to feel wanted. He wants to feel the sensation of what it must be like to be courted and treated like the greatest of all time instead of just another employee.
Everybody else is telling him that.
Which I think is sometimes how he might feel in New England. That said, I think what's best for both sides is for Brady to go and do whatever. And if he comes out after this thing of meeting with all these teams, or at least speaking with them, and thinks that, hey, wait, after talking to all them, I do want to maybe consider New England, then you have that conversation. I don't think Belichick needs to get ahead of this thing. I think the Patriots are playing this just right. Because if Brady doesn't want to be there, he doesn't want to be there. Let him go. Let the ones you love free.
You know what it's like? It's like the early dating days where you're getting into it with your girl.
Do I overcall?
And then your girl's like, you know what? I'm going out. And she looking good. And you're like, hey, baby, please, don't. All right, you don't have to go out and hang out. Don't put on the sexy dress. Just stay home with me. I do appreciate you. That's all he needs. He just want to be shown a little bit of appreciation.
I don't think Belichick's going to ever beg anyone, but I do think there will be a final phone call. I just don't think it should be the first one.
Just give him a little TLC, even though I know he ain't too proud to beg. You feel me? All right, Derrick Henry, he was arguably, no, I'm not going to say arguably, he's the best running back in football last year, okay? And he also happens to be at the end of his contract. He's hitting free agency. Peter, by next week, will Derrick Henry be the highest paid running back in all of football?
Quite possibly. But I can't say yes because I don't know if there's another suitor. What I mean by that is everyone loves Derrick Henry, and the Tennessee Titans are for sure going to do everything they can to keep him in the house. But when you talk about actual numbers and highest paid, there needs to be 2 suitors. It can't just be one team saying, you know what, you've been great, let's pay you $18 million. This is a business, and I could very well see the Titans saying, okay, what's the landscape? What's the market? And if the market isn't $16 million and maybe it's 13, 14, you don't have to break the bank just to break the bank. You can play this fiscally sound and save some money to potentially sign Ryan Tannehill, bring other guys back. I want Derrick Henry to get all the money in the world. This is nothing about me being management guy. It's just that we've learned so many times before in this league that you pay these running backs huge money and it's not necessarily the best investment.
Not another suitor. New York, you hear this, dude? Not another suitor for Derrick Henry, the best running back in football. He puts up the most numbers.
The highest
I get it. I get it. You might be sitting back saying teams are comfortable with the running back, but as soon as free agency hits, all of that talk is out the window, bro. There's going to be at least 5 teams that are sitting back. Even if they have a young running back that they're paying crumbs, they're going to say, damn, did you see what he did for the Titans last year? Did you see how comfortable he made Ryan Tannehill?
$17 million is the highest bid. You think 5 teams are going to say, okay, well, let's get in a bidding war for Derrick Henry?
I think 5 teams will look at him and say, maybe we don't give him that for over 6 years. Maybe we make him the highest paid running back ever over the course of 2 or 3 years. And that right there will make everybody happy. I feel like there is more suitors because of how dominant he was last year.
All of this is taken care of if Tennessee says, you know what? You were so good last year. We love you. Let's make you the highest paid, and that's it.
And they haven't.
They haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I feel you on that. That's true. It's a good point. Good point. It's a buzzer beater by you.
Next week, we are going to find out. We have plenty of exciting roster changes and big signings. There are lots of teams should make a big push. So, Nate, Dolphins, are they going to sign big in free agency next week, or are they going to play it safe here?
Hell, what is the money going to do? You going to bury it in the backyard like Frank Lucas? Like, let's go ahead and spend it, man. It should be burning a hole in your pocket. You got almost $90 million cap space. Let's go ahead and all of these individuals out there. Byron Jones with the Dallas Cowboys. He's a fantastic talent. You even said it yourself. He's going to garner a lot of money. What about the running back position? We just got off the conversation about Derrick Henry. How about you bring him in? You have an Alabama guy. Maybe you draft an Alabama guy. You got Tua and Derrick Henry. That would be fantastic for Tua to sit on ice and have Derrick Henry sitting behind him. I feel like you can go and get a wide receiver. Why not add to what Devontae Parker is starting to build out there? You saw him in person. You said, yo, that Parker kid is fantastic. How about you get him a little bit of help so he's not feeling all the pressure and bring in a guy like Amari Cooper? I know everybody talked about what happened when Sammy Watkins signed to the Kansas City Chiefs. And a few segments ago, you said, look what he did this past season. Signing a guy like Cooper could help you in the long run. If you have the money, why not spend it? Isn't this what Brian Flores was setting himself up for all this time?
I'm with you. Spend it. You spend it when you can. Like, you have it. You have all the salary.
Right.
There's free agents. If there's guys, you also have 3 first-round picks. There's no reason the Dolphins should have to be in the bottom of the league for the next few years. This is the offseason you were building for. Get some great draft picks and also spend on some free agents. The fans deserve it. Nate, I'm with you on this one. Spend the money if you got it.
Spend the money if you got it. I know they have a 3-year plan, but the clock is starting to tick now, right? They got rid of all the guys they need to get rid of. Let's do it.
Come on, Dolphins.
Come on, Dolphins. The time is now. It's time to go swimming. All right, I have a question for you, Straits. Welcome to Good Morning Football. We are presented by Nike. We are live in New York City. It is Thursday, March 12th. I am Nate Burleson alongside Peter Schrager, MJ Acosta, and 2 very, very special guests. They have a long resume, but I'll just call them MVPs. Jay Glazer, Nate Boyer. By MVP, I mean merging players and vets.
Merging vets and players.
Merging vets and players. I did that the opposite way. MPV. Yeah, it sounds like something else. Got to laugh out of Nate on that one. But, you know,
I knew I love this show for a reason.
You guys have done a lot of great work, and I said this during a commercial break, but this could be your greatest work. I appreciate what you guys are doing, man. Thank you for joining us for the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people watching right now, and I'm getting texts. All right, ask Glazer where Brady's going. We're not going to ask you where Brady's going, but how do you see this playing out on the feeling of Brady becomes a free agent for the first time on Monday? Just what can we expect for the next 2 weeks?
Which I don't know about you guys, but it's mind-boggling to me that they would let, I think it's the greatest quarterback in the history of anything, be a free agent. I mean, life in the NFL is terrible when you don't have a quarterback.
Right.
And you got a great one there, and their offense was still top 10 despite losing their center, David Andrews, which I think
huge
a lot
deal.
of people don't talk about. And despite the lack of weapons they have over there, it's mind-boggling that they may let him go somewhere else. I don't think Brady knows where Brady wants to go yet, but I think it's interesting, too, that there are teams that are kind of using, that are truly interested in him, teams that are using the threat of, we can go after Brady
like
if you don't want to take this right. It's exactly what they're doing. We can go after Tom. They're kind of leaking out. We can go after Tom if, they have a quarterback there, and even people with quarterbacks on the roster that they may want to redo their deal with.
Yeah.
They're turning around and say, well, we can bring Tom Brady in. So some of it's coming from Brady, some of it's coming from their people, some of it's just coming from the, from others who just want to stir up whatever and act like they know and they don't know. But I truly, truly think Tom doesn't fully know yet. And because those conversations, or a lot of teams are even like afraid to have these conversations and get shot down, let's say, and then it gets back to their quarterback and things like that.
It's a really delicate dance, all of this too. But I think he's also enjoying, like, all right, what do you got? Let me see. What can you put on the
Actually,
table?
I know where he's going. I just want to say because I work at Fox.
We'll talk about it off camera.
Fox NFL Sunday. Watch that.
All right. Well, we have a nice little game that we want to bring you guys into because it's time to break down the biggest stories of the week and more with a little Throwdown Thursday. Let's start it off with free agency. We've talked plenty about Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers, but there are 2 other young QBs possibly hitting the market who could be a big difference maker for quite a few squads. So I want to know, which free agent QB would you rather have as your starting quarterback? Teddy Bridgewater or Jameis Winston? Discuss.
I'll jump right in. I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater. As much as I've been high on Jameis Winston, I said last year I was drinking my coffee, right? I'm on the show. I said, man, Jameis Winston is balling. I saw saw a hand fly across, and it was Peter Schrager trying to slap the coffee out of him. He said, ballin'. Listen, he led the league with 5,000 yards passing. I know he went 30 for 30 like the ESPN docs, but he fixed his thumb, and he got his eyes fixed. But even with all that said, Teddy Bridgewater is more consistent, and I trust him with the ball in his hand, so I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater, even though I do like Jameis.
I'm going with the stability of Teddy also. I look at Teddy as a guy who can lead a franchise. What he's learned the last few years under Drew Brees, he can take with him as a starter in the league anywhere he really wants to play. This is a guy who not only is loved by players, but loved by coaches, and I think he gets it up here, which is so important. Jameis has only known one way, and it's the Tampa way. Maybe it's good for Jameis to start somewhere else, but I'm not sure I'm signing up for Jameis as my QB1.
I agree with both of you guys. I'm going with Teddy Bridgewater because we talked about him learning under Brees, but how about Sean Payton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Payton.